Darwin, I'm kind of sleepy.
Dude, you look kind of sleepy.
Dude, I'm so tired when I blink, you look kind of human.
I look what?
You look kind of weird, dude. Like what?
What the what?
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 Huh? Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Animated Cartoon Conspiracy Theory. Today we'll be diving into the amazing world of Gumball where the moon can talk and the appliances can sing. And a part of what makes that world so amazing are the diverse cast of characters that make this world so full, including the Watterson family. Their mischievous adventures help flesh out the world that we see our pals living. From Alan being the sole caretaker of all things charitable, or Larry being the sole caretaker of all things economic, to the Wattersons embodying all things family. And while the world of Gumball is so alive, so is Elmore itself, and its battle to replace itself as reality. And while that may seem like a stretch, while watching Gumball, some things don't quite add up. And while it could be chalked up to everything being in a child's overactive imagination, there are too many coincidences that can't be overlooked. Like the fact that there's a book with the anatomy of all the residents of Elmore, that there are humans, and that the paradoxes that dictate how the world functions. And all of this is so wild that I had to ask, is Elmore alive and changing the world to what it thinks reality should be? And surprisingly, I think the answer is yes. So make sure you strap on your tinfoil hat because there's another battle happening in Gumball as we speak. Now then, you might think it's normal that Gumball's world is weird. Gumball is a cat and his biological sister is a rabbit, two completely separate species that can't breed in real life. But whether or not Nicole Watterson is breedable with a rabbit is another topic for another video. Pretty much everything else in the amazing world of Gumball is wildly bizarre in nature as well. And it makes you wonder, is everything in the show even real? Luckily for us, there's two major points of evidence that show that everything we're witnessing in Gumball is actually real and not Gumball's imagination. In the episode titled The Traitor, Gumball is upset that Alan ditches him only to find out that he was spending the day with his mother because they were having a flatulum transplant. And while Gumball and Darwin try to fix things by performing the surgery themselves, they find a book that outlines the makeup of every person in Elmore. This medical book means that someone had to examine and document all of the residents of Elmore. And our second piece of evidence is the episode titled The Extras, where we see the background characters' lives through their perspective. And through their perspective, nothing changes. Nothing changes about the people's looks, actions, or their personality. Meaning that this in fact only solidifies that literally almost everything in Gumball is not some sort of child hallucination, but in fact real. Okay, if everything in Elmore is real, what difference would it make for the people living in it? How does this help prove that Elmore is alive and changing things? Have you ever looked closely at the money in Elmore? My friends, if you've ever wanted to know the truth, follow the money. And in Elmore, the money is in fact special. Take a look at the dollar bill. In multiple episodes, we see that the dollar of Elmore is actually known as the Elmore dollar. Not the US dollar, not the Chinese yuan, but in fact, the Elmore dollar. On the dollar, you'll see that not only does it say the money is issued by the Central Bank of Elmore, but it comes from the Federal Reserve of Elmore. So what does that mean? Well, unlike our reality, that means that Elmore ended up becoming the capital of the United States. While in real life, the United States has a separate body known as the Federal Reserve that controls how the dollar is managed, so it stays valuable. In Gumball, however, Elmore manages both the dollar and issues the dollar, which means that at some point there was either a civil war between Elmore and the former United States, or that the United States that we know never existed in this reality. Say in the comments down below which one you think it is, but for this theory, this timeline seems to have similar figures like Ronald Reagan and Abraham Lincoln, meaning that Elmore's universe is parallel to ours. And so far, we've proven not only is everything in the amazing world of Gumball real, but their universe follows a similar timeline to ours. But does any of this prove that Elmore is alive and changing things in universe? Well, people, in a world full of truth, there are lies. And two big lies that we were led to believe in the series is about Miss Simian and literal people. What if I told you that Miss Simian isn't exactly telling the truth about her age? In the amazing world of Gumball, Miss Simian is the old mean teacher of Gumball and Darwin. She's known to hope for the failure of her two students and be a longtime girlfriend of Principal Brown. And even though in the series she's known for teaching students history, she's also teaching them lies. In multiple occasions, she elaborates that she is prehistoric and has been around since the beginning of time. This is such a reoccurring theme throughout the show that it's a running joke about how old she is. But is she really as old as she says she is? And the answer is no. Say in the episode titled The Countdown, Gumball and Darwin miss the school bus and chase after it. And in trying to catch up, they break the fourth wall. Time stands still, and above them is a clock that allows them to move forward or backwards through time. And it isn't until they accidentally go back in time that everything makes sense. Gumball and Darwin go all the way back in time when the first primates stood on two legs. And guess what? Miss Simian was nowhere to be found. And of course you could say, hey, Tay, the dedicated artist, maybe Miss Simian wasn't there when they went back in time. To that I say, Miss Simian is canonically over 2 million years old, but somehow she doesn't remember when the first ape stood up? Or maybe a Miss Simian didn't exist until Elmore came into existence. Let me explain. Miss Simian is actually designed after a southern ape, otherwise known as the Australopithecus. Try saying that 3 times in a row. But Miss Simian is actually the southern ape fossil that is supposed to link bipedal humans to their ancestors. In the world of paleontology, one of the biggest links to human evolution happened to be the fossil named Lucy, discovered to be possibly over 2 million years old. So Miss Simian would be in that group of apes that witnessed the time travel, but is not. So this means Miss Simian can't exist if she doesn't remember this exact moment. This means that the existence of Elmore created a Miss Simian, the Miss Simian that we know today. And what's crazier, our second biggest piece of evidence for Elmore being alive are the humans, or should we even call them that? Isn't it weird how there's a lack of humans specifically in the city of Elmore? The most we get are humanoids like the mayor of Elmore or people like Claire, almost human but not quite. It isn't until the episode titled The Sweaters where we learn that there's another school full of students who look mostly human. And I say mostly because these humans look human, but we have real humans in the world of Gumball, like the news anchor or the creator of Bobbert Systems. So who are these cartoon human imposters stuck in the 80s? Well, they are the people who were transformed by Elmore. Why? For our entertainment. For example, remember that news anchor I mentioned just a second ago? In later episodes, he's not even human anymore and becomes a puppet news anchor. One iconic character, Sussy, she's literally quite a human chin made to believe that she lives in Elmore. In the episode The Dream, it's revealed that Sussy had a nightmare of turning human and ran out of the studio because she's mentally still Sussy running out of that room. And these so-called humans from the other school are people that are being transformed into cartoon characters, forced to believe that they are characters in Elmore. And the purpose of it all? Elmore is turning people into cartoons and makes all the weirdest characters somehow stumble into the city that we know and love to entertain us. So to put it all together, the city of Elmore was attempting to keep us entertained by transforming everyone in, around, and beyond into potential characters for our pleasure, keeping the best characters at the capital of the country. And the magic of the city is spreading and never ending. Or is it? The final piece that makes all of this come together is Rob, the series antagonist that was trying to save everyone. The magic of Elmore was spreading too thin, it was crumbling, and in an attempt to save everyone, Rob was trying to loosen the grip Elmore had. The one way of doing this? By making them real again, making them whole, making them human once again. But I guess we'll find out when the Gumball movie releases. Is that a coincidence? I think not. And make sure you subscribe to the channel, and if this video gets 100 likes in the first week, I'll make a short video on the top comments suggestion. And while you're at it, why not click that video down there to watch our next popular theory, or watch a playlist full of theories and videos. And of course, I'll see you in another video. Bye-bye!